Of this season, and Shannon Dudley has yet to get going as well. The junior had a pretty impressive sophomore season. Important couple digs by Michaela Henderson on that possession and put down by Shannon Dudley, the aforementioned 6'3" junior from Valrico, Florida. She has really grown as a player in the last couple years. Masoner dug up by Johnson. Again, Henderson being very proactive in the back court, and Dudley with an easy slam on that right side. We've seen this slide play work very well for the Falcons. It seems like a right side thing and just kind of fooling the opposition there. Usually that's a Christy Bohan play, and Shannon Dudley stepping up here.
Well, and going slide and hitting line is also very difficult when you're going your momentum towards one way. It's hard to keep it going straight down, so most teams are going to expect a cross hit, so when they hit the line, throws them off their guard a little.
Evelina Terran is also on that front line with Shannon Dudley, two 6-foot players, and there she is. Already has 2 double-digit kills on the season. And Evelina Terran is the outside hitter that they didn't have last season. Masoner rattling off the serves. That one's just long. And the first point of the game for the Golden Bears, 4-1 in the early set. Anaya Robinson. Straight to Michaela Henderson and set up well by Masoner, but it's dug up in the backcourt by Tatiana Thomas. Masoner got in the net that time.
It's looking like they're trying to run a lot of their trick plays in this game, get practice on those.
Robinson. Masoner sets it up for Terran. That one almost fell, but a great dig by Skylar Johnson. Tatiana Thomas cannot do the same. And this is a Falcons team with a lot of players haven't really played together, but they look like a cohesive bunch early on.
Christy Bowen said in our interview a couple weeks ago that they've had a great chemistry so far, a lot of new members, but they fit in pretty well, which is great.
Yeah, 2 years ago, the Falcons were led by 4 seniors, namely Rebecca Phelps, who was massive. And last year, they really had to only rely on Christy Bohan. This year, it seems like some of the pressure is eased now that she has some outside hitters coming in, such as Terran.
Right, and with them being freshmen and not transfers from another college, it's going to help them out in the years to come for sure.
There's the aforementioned Terran at the net. Henderson sets it up well for her. Kept alive by Robinson. Sets it up for their hitter, Skylar Johnson, and they just about get it over. A heads-up play there by Donautica Johnson, 6'3". For the Golden Bears, does playing without a sense of expectation really allow you to play some free volleyball?
Oh, yeah, a little so. They, they're probably just out here trying to do the best that they can, but they are sending over a little bit loopy, a little bit of a loopy play for the Falcons, which is going to throw them off their game a little, because when you're playing a team that's so structured, it's a little easier to expect what's to come, but when you're playing a team that's just trying to get it over, they'll get you on those free balls.
And Alexis Reed, the culprit on that occasion, the senior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, most experienced player in this Golden Bears side. Michaela Henderson with the serve. Good dig in the backcourt by Skylar Johnson, but couldn't get it to anybody in the front, and a timeout called by the Golden Bears. Falcons looking like they're getting the job done slowly, but they haven't really gotten out of first gear yet.
I think it's a good choice to start off not having Christy Bowen on the starting lineup and let some of those other players get their confidence up going into tough games such as West Florida, who's actually ranked number 22 in Division II, coming up in about 2 weeks. That's going to be very difficult, and it's at home for West Florida. So probably getting some experience on those girls just in case they need to switch some out in a tough match.
In the offseason, Coach O'Brien brought in a new assistant coach, Yatsa Trashmi Smolinan from Drake University. This is her first year. Does that change the chemistry and dynamic of the team, bringing in a new assistant coach?
It can, but I think that the way that the new assistant coach is offsets Katie O'Brien's personality a little bit. You've got Katie, who's a little bit more reserved, a little bit quieter, and then you've got the new assistant coach, who she's kind of more in your face, let's go, set the fire. It's very good balance.
Michaela Henderson gets us back underway. Johnson will try to work something in the backcourt. Masoner. There's Christy Bohan with her first touch of the game, and it's one of the most simple kills she'll have this season. The Falcons with the new white Under Armour uniforms. Johnson. Tatiana Thomas just about gets it over. It's a good assist for Alexis Reed, who atones for her earlier mistake. Brianna Brown back to serve, the sophomore from nearby Birmingham, graduated from Clay Chalkville. Good technique on the serve. Kept alive by Bree Bloom, and just a fantastic feed to Terran. And is she the missing piece to this Falcon puzzle that they were missing last year? It seemed like they had everything except for a second outside hitter. They kind of were relying too much on Chandler Cooper, who's graduated now, and they've brought in Evelina Terran.
Well, not only with Evelina, they've also got the two new freshmen, Claudia and also Amanda, who are going to make a big impact on this team. The Falcons have been missing an outside hitter the past couple of years. It seems like the strength hasn't been there consistently, but now they've got Shannon Dudley and Chrissy Bowen in the middle. They've got quite a few options that are strong for outside, good defense, good setters. It looks like it's going to be a good season for them.
And Terran made her first error of the game, serving that into the net. Falcons still have a 7-point advantage, 12-5. This is the first we've seen of Nicolette Fissinger in the backcourt. She's really grown as a defender. This is her junior year. Really expected to have a great year, and she's one of the most experienced in the back line, so she can provide a bit of, leadership.
Definitely. I was going to say her leadership is going to be very important to this team this year, as it seems they do have a lot of young girls. That might be the one thing they would lack.
Yeah, right now a young front court in Harley Masoner and Amanda Nugent alongside experienced Christy Bohan, but in the backcourt right now, Michaela Henderson, Bree Bloom, and Nicolette Feisinger have played a lot of volleyball together, especially last season. So in some of the games where it felt like, the season's already past us as far as making the postseason, it really got these girls some good, valuable first game experience.
Right.
One of those experienced players, Grace Harris, comes in, delivers with a service ace, 14-6. Smooth start for the Falcons, and the senior from Cypress, Texas, delivers another good serve. Bree Bloom in the right place. They come back with another attack. Thomas. Michaela Henderson, right place, right time. They set it up for Bree Bloom.
Bree Bloom with the kill going line. It's going to be open for her every single time, it looks like.
Christy enjoys the right-hand side. Bree Bloom has a lot of success on the left, and here she is again. It's tipped by Shatisa Harris, the true freshman. Another point for the Falcons. They have a double-digit lead. Seems like Coach Hunter's also trying out a few things on the road. How intimidating of a task is it coming into somewhere like the Bird's Nest?
It's probably pretty intimidating for her. I mean, she's fresh out of college, only been graduated 4 years. This might be her first real assistant coach job, and Montevallo is a pretty good team, pretty good history behind it. I'm sure it is a little intimidating for her, and she definitely wants to make an impact, make her mark here.
17-7 and a pretty good-sized crowd now. You mentioned it seemed like fans a few minutes late, but now we got a good turnout. Trustmark Arena has seen a lot of good volleyball last year. The home record wasn't the best. And hope to return to winning ways, and that's a fantastic play by Christy Bohan, known mainly for her attacking qualities, showing a bit of defensive prowess with the block. We mentioned last year, Christy's really developed her game. She's good at serving, defending, and attacking. She seems to be that complete player. Is there anything in her game that you think she can improve on?
She could probably improve more on serve receive. She's not that strong there, but she does have good defense. She knows how to read a hitter, probably because she's a pretty good hitter herself. She can put up an extremely good block. She leads the team in blocks right now with 11. So the only thing she could really work on is serve receive, but other than that, she's got it down.
Bree Bloom just missed that one across court. Kill went wide right. To Nautica Johnson. Masoner, and off balance, Christy Bohan manages to adjust in midair and get it down.
Those tips in the center are hard to pick up.
Christy back to serve for the first time at home this season. Brianna Brown keeps it alive. And it got a tip on the way through. Point for the Golden Bears. 19-9. Montevallo have looked relatively comfortable, and Christy Bohan can go out and take a break. Shannon Dudley checks back in. Be interesting to see how Coach runs this game, because last year in a very similar team against Clark Atlanta, Christy played all of the first two sets and then sat out the last set. Looks like this time they'll play her a little bit in each set.
Well, I think Coach O'Brien also has more options, so she feels a little more comfortable letting her best hitter go out because she has a couple of girls that she knows can pick up the slack in Christy's absence.
One of such players coming onto the court right now, Evelina Terran, the freshman we've been mentioning from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Had a massive weekend up in North Carolina this past Labor Day. Harley Masoner back to serve. Harley sets it up. A lot of power in that kill by Evelina Terran again. And the position that the Falcons seem to be fine at every single year is setter. Had Bree Marquez dominate that position, and then Hannah Christie took over last year. Harley Masoner looks to have that position down, and she already has a backup. Liz Tisch, the true freshman from Blanchardville, Wisconsin, got a lot of playing time.
And watching Liz in the warm-ups for this game, she was doing a fantastic job. It seems like if Harley ever needed a break, she'd have someone that could easily pick up her spot.
Bree Bloom that time forces it through the block of Alexis Reed and Tatiana Thomas. 23-9, 2 points away from the opening set. Good dive to keep it alive by Thomas. Almost tipped over by Livingston, but she was denied by Terran. 24-9. Forced over on this occasion by Alexis Reed, the senior pumping up her team.
Looked like that ball might have been going out had the Falcons on their toes a little.
Falcons with an interesting lineup here. Just knocked over, and that's it for the first set. Evelina Terran showing other qualities besides just height and power. 25-10. Montevallo looking pretty comfortable in their first home game of the season here at Trustmark Arena. What did you see in that first set, Elizabeth, that you think Coach O'Brien will be stressing more of?
I think she'll definitely be stressing more of setting up Evelina Tarrant. I mean, she's doing an amazing job standing at 6'2". She is pretty tall up there. Christy Bowen right next to her up in the 6-foot range. You got Shannon Dudley up in 6-foot range. I think she's really going to take all of their height to its advantage. I mean, they've got the strength, they've got the size, they've got the power. Not really much else you could ask of them, but what's funny about Evelina is she seems a little timid when it comes to actually communicating, so just kind of like that quiet but deadly force on the court.
It'd be interesting to see if she can evolve as a player. That seemed to be one of the things hampering the progress of Shannon Dudley. She's really grown as a player and communicating with her teammates and kind of not being so scared at the net.
Yes, definitely. She's come a long way since her freshman year. It seemed like she didn't even know how to talk to her teammates at some points, but she has definitely encouraged that. But the Falcons have a really strong defense returning this year. I mean, really solid. All their starting defensive specialists and liberos are all going to be experienced Falcons and young experienced Falcons. I don't think they have one senior that's a defensive, well, Grace. They have Grace, who's a defensive specialist, but you've got Michaela coming up right in her way. It seems like that she's got someone else she can look to.
Yeah, it was a very impressive mix of players that Coach O'Brien used in that first set. 4 kills each for Evelina, Bree, and Christy, and 3 for Shannon Dudley. 15 assists for Harley Masoner. 15 digs compared to only 4 for the visitors. They've had a tough afternoon. Montevallo hitting 58% as opposed to the visitors' 4. If you're just now joining us, Montevallo eased to a 25-10 opening set victory behind 4 kills from the big hitters Bree Bloom and Christy Bohan, 4 as well for Evelina Tarrant, who we highlighted at the beginning of the broadcast. She's had a magnificent debut weekend for the Falcons and continues it here on Tuesday night against the Golden Bears.
It looks like Coach O'Brien has switched up this second set lineup a little bit. You've got Amanda Nugent coming in for her first college game. You've got Bree Bloom. You've got Evelina Tarrant again. You had Michaela Anderson come in for Brioni Dixon, who will return to the front row. Christy Bowen on the front and Harley Masoner as your setter.
See an introduction for the Golden Bears. Brianna Edwards-DeMars comes in, the junior from Houston, Texas. Besides that, a same lineup that started the game for the Golden Bears. Tatiana Thomas delivers the set's first serve. Christy Bohan uncharacteristically blocked. And Kina Livingston got caught in the net. The point for the Falcons. Edwards-DeMars, her first attack, puts that one way out into the Falcons sideline. Talked to Harley Masoner last week, and she said she was very comfortable and excited for the game of the season. Absolutely no signs of nerves, and that really reflects his inner play.
Yes. She seems to be playing with no fear, no nerves at all, just doing her thing. She's doing a really great job. Tough float serve. It's a hard pass to pick up on the defense.
Anaya Robinson hit that one long, was beseeching the referee for a tip. Did not see on the same page. An aggressive play yet again, this time from Livingston. Not a single attack has been rewarded with a kill. 4-0 for the Falcons in the early going of this fourth set.
You've got the double from the setter for Miles College, automatically giving the point back to the Falcons.
As Teran checks back in. That time she gets it to go. Brianna Edwards-Demars, the 5'9" junior, is a transfer from Clarendon College. After losing the first set, do you really play with a nothing to lose type attitude if you're the Golden Bears?
Probably so. You definitely want to try and get a win on this set and try and take it to a third match, but I mean, they really don't have much to lose. They would probably want to go all out. I'm sure their coach is telling them swing strong, make all the easy things, don't miss serves, don't give away any unnecessary points, especially against the Falcons, who seem to have a higher playing level than Miles College. They definitely don't want to give away anything easily.
As that point was pretty easily to the Falcons. Another mental error for the Golden Bears at the beginning of this second set. 7-1, commanding lead for the Falcons. Bree Bloom, who was last season's Peach Belt leader in service aces. You can see why. Johnson set it up well. Skylar Johnson was wide. And the seniors, Alexis Reed and Skylar Johnson, yet to really step up for the visitors. We mentioned it being a very tough environment. And it's interesting for Montevallo, with so few seniors, Grace Harris and Christy Bohan aren't really, screamers. It's imagining how they will try to motivate their team. Is it they kind of a lead by example type players?
Yeah, definitely lead by example. I mean, they're both very poised players. They lead by example exactly. Actions speak louder than words in this case. They don't have much talking that they have to do. I mean, they show up, they do what they need to do, they play well, they make minimal mistakes.
This is a very competitive group of girls. You see, they don't really need much motivation.
No, not at all. Haven't seen one Falcons come together yet where they seemed like they really needed to amp each other up. Either it's already there or they just feel pretty confident in this match.
And that confidence exuded with the Falcons all weekend. It was a slow start in the 5-set loss, which they really were the better team against the host Catawba. For the rest of the weekend, there was no doubt who the best basketball team or the best volleyball team at the tournament was. Montevallo really found their rhythm and so far are enjoying an 11-1 lead here in this second set.
Yeah, lots of mental mistakes from Miles College. They just ended that play right before the timeout with their hitter, Nikina Livingston, completely missing the set from the setter, letting the ball drop. Seems like the communication may be a little bit off with Miles College. I'm sure that's what their coach is talking to them right now. You got to talk to each other. You got to have that communication there. It all builds on that. And then you got to get a good pass, get a good set, and put the ball down. It all starts with the basics.
Well, it's an interesting project that Coach Hunter has to work with. She has several seniors and juniors in the lineup and then a lot of freshmen, not really many sophomores. So there's kind of a gap in experience here with a lot of newcomers coming in with players that have experience.
Right. I'm sure it's a little difficult. I mean, like you said, half the team is very experienced, half the team, this is their first college experience. So it's a little difficult for the older girls. I mean, they probably don't know much about these girls. They don't know what they can do. They just have these, 2 or 3 weeks of practice leading up to their first match of the season. It's probably a little frustrating, but maybe they can work on it.
Bree Bloom with a fantastic service ace. And the Falcons' dominance continues 12-1.
And the Falcons not letting the Golden Bears out of single digits last match, so let's see if they can hold them to it again.
Bit of miscommunication there. Livingston again mishits the ball. Edwards-Demars set it for her. And another service ace for Bree Bloom, just rattling them off today. En route to another double-digit days and kills. She's really a dual threat type player. She can get double-digit kills and digs.
Yeah, she definitely has it all going for her. I don't think there's one thing that she's not good at as she serves the ball into the net.
That was something we mentioned a lot last year. She seemed to have a very
Free ball back over to the Falcons. Quick set. Taryn puts it down. Straight down to the middle of the court. That middle set.
We're back now. Bring it back.
Welcome back to Trustmark Arena, 19-3. The Falcons dominating this second set after taking a 25-10 first set. Good block there by Harris on Brioni Dixon, and a well-earned point for the Golden Bears.
Claudia Chisholm almost brought that back for the Falcons with that.
And it was funny that you almost got the two confused, Amanda and Claudia, because they were talking off the court that sometimes they even get each other confused, or at least Bree Bloom doesn't know which one she's passing to.
They look really similar, same body structure, same hair color.
And a very similar playing style as well.
Exactly.
Two outside hitters, 5'10".
Two freshmen.
Liz Tisch, the backup setter, has come in, as has Jamisha Edmond, who transferred from Pensacola State College. Played some important sets last season down the stretch. Miss hit there by Brown, but kept alive well by Shatisa Harris. A couple young players getting some valuable minutes for the Golden Bears.
Only experienced player on the court right now for the Falcons is Michaela Henderson, as all the other girls are either freshmen or sophomores. Well, and Natalie as a senior, but she hasn't seen much playing time in her 4 years at Montevallo, so this is a good chance for her to really show her strengths and get some more playing time in the future.
that's something the Falcons are blessed with this season, a lot of depth. We have Natalie Twyford and Simone Maxwell, who are upperclassmen, as well as Janisha Edmond, who's just come on, is a senior. We mentioned last year was her first year, but had 2 years of junior college behind her. Good serve by Tish. That's the end of the second set, 25-4. The dominance from the first set continued in this one, 25-10, then 25-4. It seemed like Coach O'Brien even had a chance to rotate there. Everything's going perfectly so far for the Falcons in their first home game. However, this is really what they set this game up to be. What do they take going forward to improve on when they face tougher teams?
Well, this momentum will definitely drag them into those next games. I mean, as we've said here, almost every player has gotten some playing time on the court already, and I assume that she'll start this third set with completely new, inexperienced Montevallo players, and they'll just have to run with that into the future. I mean, they're really proving the amount of depth that they have in these girls. I mean, every girl that's come on has proven something. Little mistakes, just good players all around. They seem to have a pretty good lineup this year. It should be a good season for Montevallo.
We'll go to a quick break. Montevallo up 2-0 ahead of the third set, taking on the Miles Golden Bears. Welcome back to Trustmark Arena for Montevallo Volleyball on the Falcon Athletic Network. I'm Alex Tejada alongside Elizabeth Reinert. Montevallo Falcons have had an easy going of it in the first two sets, 25-10 and 25-4, rattling off a quick first two sets. Elizabeth, what do you think Coach O'Brien will be most pleased with?
I think she'll be most pleased with her newest players. I mean, they've done a fantastic job. Even though this is a bit of an easier game for them, it's a great segue into a future career with Montevallo. It shows that during the harder games, they do have the skill and they do have the poise and the confidence to keep on going against the harder teams coming up. I mean, this is a really great game to start off with because they do have an extremely tough schedule.
It's interesting, too, that they put it at the very beginning of the season. Last year, they had a rocky start to the season, then threw in a game against Clark Atlanta, and it kind of inflated the ego a little bit because they kind of looked rusty going into some really important Peach Belt matches.